the full set. He's going to have everything he needs to kind of push up with an attack. A couple lurkers down, but really I feel like against that science vessel, against a couple tanks, Hogil would need more. But we'll see what kind of sizable... One thing that is to his advantage, he's got this huge distance in between, and he can harass all the way in between. Mine getting caught, lost about 4 Marines there on a hold, not even a hold position lurker, just kind of ran right into it there, and a lot of lings in the background. As you can see, Hogil just trying to create some space between himself and mine. So they're just going to put his units all up there and make sure that he doesn't lose anything. 3 tanks out for mine, so mine actually going to try to use those tanks probably because tanks have better range than lurkers. So as soon as he has that science vessel up, probably going to push up. And Mutalisk in the meantime sneaking around the back, going to cut off a little bit of the reinforcements. Going to probably be able to. He might have been able to pick off that tank. Not going to dedicate to it though. That was an interesting. Able to take down a couple more Marines, but not able to hit anything economically. Looks like Hive Tech going up. Going into a hive now for Hogil, and now Mind really needs to think about pressing up because he's basically didn't even get those front 2 creep colonies down, so didn't even have to invest resources there. He's got that expansion up. Yeah, now he's going to start pressing up, which is what he needs to do, because he's just you can't let Zerg just mass up. You can't just expect to win the game. Obviously, Terran. When it's Terran versus Protoss, you don't want to let the Terran mass. When it's Zerg versus Terran, you don't want to let the Zerg just get this absolutely huge indomitable force while you're just chilling in your base hoping to win out. Because especially on a map like this, because otherwise you're just going to get pinned in. You're going to lose a lot of your medic Marines. But obviously, superior. I'm not going to comment actually on Terran, the ability of Terran, because it's a totally different subject. I'm getting off the topic. Getting back to the game, Hive almost up. Defiler Mine going down, so he's going to go for more of a Dark Swarm type build, and we'll see how Hogil does in the late game. Mind, in the meantime, just doing kind of a slow and steady push. He has 2 full control. Wow, about 3 full control groups of Medic and Marines. And just kind of steadily pushing forward. And the question is where does he decide to go at this point? He needs to be very careful that he doesn't get flanked. It looks like he's just kind of going for some general map control. Hogil trying to lift up those lurkers. Those lurkers slowly getting pressed back. A ton of barracks down. Looks about 6. The 7th one, I think that might be the 7th one going down. I didn't get an accurate count. Nightingale Canal going to the front door. Evolution Chamber going down. I'm not sure if how he's doing as far as production, as far as upgrades going. And those lurkers and links now splitting up. So the classic Terran ball right there. And now it looks like Hogil going to try to push around the backside, but 2 bunkers down going to be there to greet him, as well as the reinforcements. Medic Marine's going to be caught out in the open there, as well as a tank reinforcement, and we'll see actually a huge force of reinforcements. Looks like it's now pushing in forward. Actually, it's not reinforced; it's main attack force. Those lurkers are just getting irradiated and kind of tanked to crap though. So it looks like Mine is going to actually press in on that natural expansion. He's going to press in straight into Hogil's front door. He's just going to create a contain here. And after actually he creates the seal contain, still some forces out in the open, so he needs to be careful because he could get pincered here. Mine just doing this again, the standard steady thing. He's going to bring some of those units back, though, to make sure he doesn't get pincered in between. Beautifully protects his science vessels. Managed to take down a lurker. Those lings are probably going to be able to take those 2 tanks out front, but still 2 tanks protecting. And Mine being a little careless there and pushing in when he really didn't need to. And I don't know that Hogil has enough to really defend this anymore. Those tanks steadily pushing in now. I don't know if he can pull off another thing, but he does have Dark Swarm now. Perfect timing for him. Dark Swarm going to go down. Those tanks taking a lot of hits up front, so it looks like those tanks are going to be taken out. A little bit of a miscue on Mine. Mine being a little too worrying a little too much about his back door and not enough about his front door. It looks like he does have the armor 1 now, and wow, beautiful Dark Swarm by Hogil. Mind in retreat now, took out a huge group of those Medic Marines. Mind having to fall back, trying to still contain, but another Dark Swarm beautifully. He's going to have to keep retreating, probably going to have to sacrifice that tank as well, once again. So Hogil doing everything he needs to do. Mind being just a little bit, his units have just been a little bit out of position, a little bit kind of off here and there. A single Zergling attacking that command center, that new expansion from Mind. In the meantime, it looks like Hogil has expanded once again to that, gotten another expansion, so he's actually doing very well economically. Actually, I think economically ahead of Mind at this point, as Mind is not producing out of that expansion right there. Lurker's taking down a lot of Medic Marines here, but those Lurkers obviously going to be easily taken care of. Maynarding Mind bringing those troops over. A little bit of a drop there going to be taken care of. That dropship also going to be taken out, so Hogil doing a fantastic job in this match. Medic Marines, that small grouping there taken out in the back of Hogil's base, spotted out. The Filer Mount's still up. It's been
up for a while, and Hogil actually has a decent-sized economy here. I think he can put this game to rest. All he has to do is really kind of... I don't think he even needs to kind of tech to Ulthulis here. I think what he can just do is continue his upgrade, get a bunch of... huge group of Lings, get a bunch of Defilers out, and keep the Scourges coming up on, and wow, going to be able to take out that expansion right outside Mine's base. Mine looking like having to lift that off in a lot of trouble here, and not losing a lot of those SCVs, fortunately. Did get a kind of a rake across and lost one SCV, which could have been a lot worse. But yeah, takes out another Science Vessel. Woo! Hogil doing everything he needs to do, and he might come out with this match here, which is not something I predicted, not something I expected, and wow, pushing up those... beautiful Dark Swarm, but it's not going to make a difference because those tanks are sieging it, radiate across that and trying to take out that gas. Very clever. If he takes out, basically, it is a cheap build, Medic Marine build, but still is kind of gas dependent. So trying to make sure that Mine, first of all, keeping that Lurker camp there. I'm going to try to make sure that building does it cost a little bit of a Marine scout, just going to sacrifice a Marine to scout that location. He's going to see that natural expansion's up, and I think what he's going to have to do at this point is he's going to have to just maintain, and he's actually going to pull back his troops and probably go after that natural expansion. He needs to be careful with the Science Vessels because I'm surprised, again, a Scourge hasn't pushed in and attacked them quite yet, and really that's what's going to win this game or lose this game for Mind at this point, is if he can keep those Science Vessels up, and if he can kind of take out these expansions of Hogil's, he's going to comsat that up, and wow, yeah, now moving in with the huge force. Hogil doesn't have anything in place. Looks like he does have a Nidus Canal, but I'm not sure if those Lings are going to be enough. The Medic Marine pushing up, going to take down that first Sun Colony, and wow, that's just a huge grouping of Medic Marines for... wow, beautiful Dark Swarm though, so he's going to have to pull back for at least the moment. Scourge is pushing up, managed to take down another Science Vessel. Beautiful, beautiful game. I think that might have been a Plague. Yeah, a Plague all over those Medic Marines. So Mine once again forced to retreat, and still worrying about that expansion. Hogil doing absolutely everything right in this match up to this point. Mine has established another expansion. He does have has pulled back. He is trying to gather his Medic Marines back up. Hogil doing a fantastic job. Ultralisk mount up, so Mine's going to be in a lot of trouble here in a minute, because you're going to see Ultralisks all over the map. You're going to... he's not doing a very good job of protecting his Science Vessels. He does have still those 6-7 barracks up that are still pumping Medic Marines. Still has a decent-sized force on the ground, but basically hasn't won any major engagements as far as I can tell up to this point, aside from some extremely minor ones. A little careless with the Scourges, losing the Scourges there. Gonna again try to push up on the main. Looks like try to get some Irradiates off, and a beautiful Radiate and a huge grouping of one taking out a Defiler. Another expansion going up for Hogil in the meantime. I don't even think he needs that expansion, honestly, though. Just gonna try to cap the res advantage here. Tank just trying to protect that location. Ooh, Defiler getting caught out in the open. That's costly. Caught off by Medics Marines, not even Irradiate there. And now again another attack coming in from Mind at this expansion. It looks like a Spore Colony is up to kind of shove that to kind of force those Science Vessels back. I like that, very clever. The classic Zerg defense. But Irradiate did go off on that Lurker, so it's not going to make a difference. A two-pronged attack now, and some dropships out from Mind. Mind manages to get to somehow drop in the background and into where that Ultralisk Cavern's located, and this is going to be very dangerous. Manages to take out that Ultralisk, going to try to move those Medic Marines back. It looks like this is going to be taken care of, but still very clever. In the meantime, I'm surprised he didn't push up another. He might have pushed another attack off screen in the meantime, but Dark Swarm going off there. So very, very effective defense by Hogil at that point. Right there, a lot of dropships up though from Mine, and this could be the difference in the game. If he can get a push up either on the Hive or kind of that vital tech of Hogil's, he can kind of push out. Ultralisk pushing up at that expansion. Only a single Ultralisk though, I'm surprised. Maybe just for testing purposes. It doesn't look like it's going to do a lot. Another drop coming in where that Ultralisk Cavern's located, but a Lurker there, a couple Lurkers just greeting there, and I'm not sure that there's any... or I'm sorry, that's a Ling. Only a single Ling. It was kind of... that was an odd perspective of my map. I'm going to push in with a huge Medic Marine force, takes down the Sun Colony extremely quickly, comsats, going to probably be able to take that Lurker down, and wow, probably going to lose his expansion. Let's see if he can get that Nidus Canal down. If he can get that Nidus Canal down, that's going to be absolutely everything here. Pushing up the Medic Marine. Let's see, now focusing on the Nidus Canal. Nidus Canal down. He's going to be able to take out that Ultralisk Cavern and this expansion. That's going to put Mind right back in this game. So Mind doing everything he needs to get back in. And in the meantime, a single Lurker and a little bit of a pithy attack coming up. Looks like he did manage to get a Dark Swarm down, but I think that Lurker is going to be able
able to be irradiated by the Medic Marine. It looks like he is going to be able to reclaim this. He keeps his Ultralisk Cavern, which is absolutely huge, but still loses that expansion, which was still an effective attack for Mine. Let's see what Mine can do in the meantime. More drones being produced. Again, he still has that expansion, so that wasn't extremely costly. That was huge for Hogil, keeping that Ultralisk Cavern, and still, wow, Mine just going to dedicate a couple Medic Marines, still losing a couple